Welcome back. In the last session, we have discussed about the various examples of key performance indicators and different types of key performance indicators. Let us discuss some of the methodological aspects that comes under the same category. Next one, important or advantages of key performance indicators. As we have mentioned earlier, key performance indicators helps an organization or a department or a team or a manager react instantly to any event that might affect the business, because it, as the name suggests, it indicates the situation of the organization. In addition, these indicators can be used to set targets throughout the business to deliver the strategic goals. Thus, KPI help the business to focus on a common goal and ensure that it is aligned within the company. So let us discuss some of the major points with regard to key performance indicators, such as goal measurement. Key performance indicators are the measurements by which we know whether our business is achieving strategic goals or not, because the indicators will always measure the movement of the organization, whether the organization is working as per the standards towards achieving the goals or targets. And the indicators will give a clear glimpse about whether it is going as per the track or whether it is deviating from its track, depends. So key performance indicators helps in measurement of goal. Providing information and feedback. As we have discussed different types of indicators, it provides a simple, insightful snapshot of a company's overall performance, as well as reliable, real-time information for effective decision making. Not only it helps in achieving the targets or objectives of the organization, it helps the management taking decisions with regards to the performance of the organization. Staff morale. Receiving positive feedback or incentives for meeting key performing indicators can be rewarding and motivating for the staff. Without measuring the outcomes, quality work can be easily be overlooked. Because if the morale of the employees or staff is high, they will be loyal to the organization. Loyalty means increasing the efficiency, thereby increasing the performance of the organization. So key performance indicators improving the staff morale of the organization. Consistency and continuity. The targets, objectives, the need, everything with regards to organization may change depending upon the nature of the business or depending upon the time in which it operates. But the measurement of the key performance indicators remain consistent. This is essential for monitoring long-term strategic goals. Not only the short-term operations are not considered, but the long-term aspects of the business should also be considered. For long run, the organization must maintain consistency. Only through consistency, the organization can maintain continuity. Next one, foster personal growth. With key performance indicators, teams are able to see exactly how they are performing at any given moment. This makes learning from success and failures in day-to-day operations. And another reason KPI are more important for personal growth, because it builds the idea of increased morale. Because the staff morale is always raised because of the key performance indicators. Because with the help of key performance indicators, every employees can monitor their performance and response depending upon the level of activity. If the employees feel that they are not up to the mark, the employees can make necessary effort for maintaining the standards. And KPI helps in improving the performance not only of the employees of the organization, but organization as a whole. provide important information. Key performance indicators provide an immediate snapshot of the overall performance of the company because it will give a glimpse into the overall activity of the business. When a company is highly competitive market, that information can be a crucial part of its to attempt to beat the competition. Sometimes the organization working in a highly competitive market may not in a position to identify their crucial situation, but KPI helps in providing information to the management that the company is working in a very competitive environment, so such and such measures has to be taken to survive the competition likewise. So when such informations are accurate, the organization top level can take necessary steps. So the KPI has a very wide potential with regards to measuring the performance of the business, and it is usually widely accepted all over the world for as a better tool for measuring the performance. Still, it suffers from some issues. So let us discuss some of the demerits of KPIs. First one, it discourages teamwork. As we have mentioned earlier, each employee can measure the performance of their level of activity. So it only concentrate on individual activity performance rather than a group performance. So employees will be more concerned about their own performance rather than working as a team. When it comes to the organization point of view, working as a teamwork is of great importance rather than personal performance. Beneficial only for very good and poor employee. Because with the help of key performance indicators, very good employees can identify that they are performing well, so they will get incentives depending upon their performance, their morale is increased. And with regard to poor employees, they can easily identify that they are not up to the mark, so they need to take necessary steps so as to cover their poor performance. But when it comes to middle employees, the KPI doesn't provide an actual standard for their performance level. So it is not a good scale with regard to overall performance of the employees, because it can identifies only good and the poor employees rather than the middle employees, because in an organization a major portion of the employees will be middle level employees. Emphasis on short-term goals. It encourages employees to achieve short-term goals rather than long-term goals, because usually in KPI the morale of the staff is improved on short-run basis. That is why. There exists a centralized system, that is, managers have complete control over the employees. When it comes to an organization point of view, centralization doesn't give much performance effectiveness when it is compared to a decentralized system, because in an organization, especially in a larger organization, decentralization is best rather than centralization. It is always subjective rather than objective. I hope you all know the meaning of subjective as well as objective. Finally, produce emotional anguish. It is usually with regard to the employee's point of view, because usually in KPI the major activity with regard to the employees is usually it measures the morale, their satisfaction, their emotional aspects likewise. So it creates an emotional anguish. Emotional anguish means emotional instability. That is not good for the organization when it comes to the employee's point of view. So these are the major demerits as well as demerits. Just go through these points. Apart from that, try to identify more points with regards to merits and demerits, because you may come across a question where you are asked to briefly explain regarding merits as well as demerits of KPI. So try to add more points. Next one, essentials of a good KPI. With regards to essential, there are a number of factors that has to be considered as an essentials for KPI. Means what are the requirements for an efficient KPI? That is the meaning of essentials of KPI. Under KPI, there is a criteria known as SMART. SMART means S means specific, M means measurable, A means achievable, R means relevant, and T means time-based. So the concept is KPI should always follow the SMART criteria. This means the measurement has a specific purpose for the business. S means specific. It is measurable. M means measurable to really get a value of the KPI. The defined norms have to be achievable. It should be always achievable. KPI indicators should always be achievable. And all those plans or indicators always should be relevant to the success of the organization. That is represented by R. And not only all these things, it should always be time bound. That is represented by T. So these are, even though there are many essentials requirement for the implementation of KPI, the SMART criteria is of the great importance with regard to KPI. And for as an activity, try to identify the major essential requirements of the KPI. Apart from that, try to find the major principles with regard to KPI. We will discuss about the further cases in the next session.